Yeah, my name's Keith Glasser. I own a practice called Optimal Results Physical Therapy in Portland, Oregon. I've had it for 20, 21 years. You know, I was kind of lost. I was in my mid-30s, had a lot of crises, I would say. My life was kind of a mess. And I was looking for a new career, and I was very athletic, and a buddy of mine said, who was a neuropsychiatrist, who I was playing in a basketball league with, he said, you know, Keith, you'd be a great physical therapist. I think that'd be a good fit for you. And I was looking at all kinds of medical things. My sister's an MD, and I looked at it, I just said, you know, I loved it. It was just made sense for kind of, it seemed pretty inherent to who I was. So, and I've loved the career. It's been phenomenal. You know, I like that I can help people. You know, the ultimate goal is to help people have better function, get out of pain, and get a better life. You know, I'm writing a book called Get a Pain-Free Life because, you know, in my practice, we don't believe that most people with physical pain should have it. Chronic pain, any pain, people get better if they do the right things and they get active and spend enough time explaining the options and what they can do. Most people buy in and they get on the program. You know, this is kind of a cool story. I was working with a dad, and the dad was probably in his 60s, and he had a daughter, late 30s, and one day he came in, I'd been working with him for a couple months, and he said, you know, Keith, will you mind assessing my daughter? She has about 20 diagnoses, and, you know, it's a real mess. So I said, yeah, sure, I'll be happy to see her. So she came in and she had about 20 diagnoses, and she came in with a nurse case manager because she had so many appointments. And she's a very bright woman. She came in a wheelchair, could hardly walk. And I assessed her. I gave her my opinion. She was having a physical therapist go to her house. She was working with trainers, chiropractors, neurologist, I mean, you name it, she was seeing them, and they all had a different diagnoses. And you know, I said, you know, I think you might have all these diagnoses, but I think your biggest problem is you're weak. And I said, that's my assessment, and you know, do what you want. If you want, you can come in, and if you don't want to come, I mean, I can train the PTs that are going to your house. It didn't matter to me. And she said, and she huffed and harumphed and whatever she did, and she said, I think I'll come in once. I said, okay, so she came in. And she's been a client of ours for probably 3-4 years now. She comes in once in a while. We see her on and off. And today, she walks with a cane or a walker, doesn't need the wheelchair anymore. She went back to work full time, just a couple kids. And I have to say, that's a success story. So that was kind of a real fun one, because you know, they just give up on people, and we don't. You know, I'm a lover of resistant bands. You know, I think I'm sitting here talking to you, Sean, who's the owner of Stroops, because when I went to a conference, I guess about a year ago, yeah, I think it was about a year ago, I saw these bands, and I've been looking for a really professional, high-quality resistance program that I could use with our patients and customers and clients. And I couldn't believe how good they were. So we started using the products. And I think resistance training and some strength training and stability training is probably the key to getting people better, especially the older population, you know, 40 and over. You know, I think resistance bands is probably a really great option. I mean, you can do I think you have to do some resistance training with customers and patients and clients. But I think resistance bands lets that patient duplicate what you do in the clinic, and they can do it at home. And you know, I've always believed that if you're going to and people buy a lot of products from us because I think that we should supply the products because we know what's good and we know what's professional grade, and I don't want to give people something that's an inferior product. Because I want it to be a product that they respect, and a product, if they respect it, they'll use it. You know, a normal band just doesn't have this covering on it. And it's just a piece of rubber inside, and then they throw a handle on that's rubber. Well, these bands are super heavy duty. They come with what is this thing called?
Carabiner clip.
A carabiner clip on each side. They're completely covered, so they'll kind of last for years. And then you can attach all kinds of stuff to them, like these textured grips, a universal loop. They go over the spine strap, which is part of, this is a kit that I developed with Stroops. It just makes people respect exercise. You know, we've had some bands break on and off. I've heard some real horror stories. Fortunately, I never had a horror story. But I've never had the horror story, but for years I've been looking for bands that were just higher quality, like top quality. You know, a lot of therapists give out TheraBand. They just give it away and they don't even make people pay for it. I think if people don't buy something, I don't think they take it seriously. You know, I like it's made in the USA. I like that it's heavy duty. I feel confident giving to somebody a professional level piece of equipment. I haven't had anybody blink at the cost of the kit, which retails for, I don't know, $160 to $180. Basically, you buy one kit, you can do almost everything you want with it. Take it with you. Yeah, it's just a really high quality, value-based product. You know, that's a good question. You know, physical therapists treat a lot of different ways. And there's no one way, there's no one best way. There's a lot of really excellent ways. You know, but if you ask me what percentage of people that we see are we going to do some level of strength training with, I would say probably 95%. Almost everyone is going to do some amount of strength training. I'd say probably everyone is going to do some type of strength training. And of those, I would say probably 80% of them we use bands with. We end up using bands because when we see people, we want them to get better. Not only do we want them to get better, we want them to stay better. And then we want them to be able to continue to do a home exercise program at home. You know, really the job of a physical therapist, in my opinion, you know, we're in the pain business. We're in the business of getting people out of pain. And if you really want to boil it down, what's the job of a physical therapist? The job of a physical therapist is to help that customer or patient create amazing exercise habits. We're in the exercise habit business if you're really going to do stellar work. Well, I would definitely say that not everybody will buy the kits, but we came up with a solution for that. We not only sell the kits, but we also rent the kits. Because there's nothing like experience if people are going to use a product. So we rent the kits for 60 days, and I think we rent them for $30 for a couple months. Then they get to use it while they're in rehab. And then when they get done, they have a choice. They can pay the difference of the price for the kit, which we just apply the rental to, or they can just give it back. Because some people aren't ready, but the ones that are, they buy them. And it's good. It's a win for everyone. You know, you can buy a pair of shoes for $20. You can buy a pair of shoes for $150. Now that pair of shoes for $150 is a lot different than the pair of shoes for $20. Because that $150 pair of shoes is probably going to last you 6, 8, 10 years if you take care of them. That $20 pair of shoes is probably going to last you for 2 months, 3 months. It depends on the quality of that $20 shoe. You know, I think the bands are the same. I mean, you kind of get what you pay for. If you want value, something that's going to last for a while, take care of it. It's going to last for 10 years. You probably wouldn't have to buy another band for stuff you do at home for 6, 8, 10 years. I mean, that's a good investment. Not only that, but if you got this set, you could skip the gym. You could skip the resistance training at the gym because you got everything at home. Unless, of course, you like to go to a gym, and I think everybody's a little bit different. But I think it gives you the option, especially people working at home a lot. You know, they're sitting around, not doing anything. It just gets you up and around. I mean, the stuff you can do with this kit in 10 minutes is mind-blowing.